Ladies and gentlemen, it's Hussein Obama versus Hussein Obama on Sudan. Here's Hussein Obama back in April 2008. Quote, I am deeply concerned by reports that the Bush administration is negotiating a normalization, remember that term, of relations with the government of Sudan. This reckless and cynical initiative would reward a regime in Khartoum that has a record of failing to live up to its commitments. End quote. This is in stark contrast to what's going on now. On Monday, the Hussein Obama administration took its first step towards normalizing relations with Khartoum, promising a menu of incentives and disincentives for a government the U.S. has repeatedly, and rightfully so, accused of genocide. Please don't call it reckless and cynical. We also have this from last month. The Washington Post reports U.S. diplomacy has remained mostly in the hands of one man, Obama's special envoy to Sudan, retired Air Force Major General Scott Gration, who is pushing for normalizing relations with the only country in the world led by a president indicted for war crimes. Gration's money quote, "We've got to think about giving out cookies," said Gration, who was appointed in March. Cookies, yeah, that might work for kids, but it doesn't work for homicidal maniacs. Well, they might take the cookies and then stab you in the back. Obama's doing a lot of the same things that he criticized President George W. Bush for. Remember this money quote from July 2008? In a situation like Darfur, I think that the world has a self-interest in ensuring that genocide is not taking place on our watch. Remember, this is Obama. Not only because of the moral and ethical implications, but also because chaos in Sudan ends up spilling over into Chad. It ends up spilling over into other parts of Africa and can lead up to those areas being repositories of terrorist activity. Wasn't there another country that murdered tens of thousands of its own? Kurds, was it? Let me try my version of Obama's words, and as you'll notice, I switched some of them around. In a situation like Iraq, I think that the world has a self-interest in ensuring that genocide is not taking place on our watch. Not only because of the moral and ethical implications, but also because chaos in Iraq ends up spilling over into Turkey, Iran, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. It ends up spilling over into other parts of the Middle East, can end up being